Hello everyone, welcome back to our third Python class. Okay, before starting today's topic, let's quickly revise what we learned in the previous class. We learned about arithmetic operators, assignment operators, comparison operators, and logical operators. These operators help us perform calculations and compare values. Today we will use those comparison operators to make our programs take decisions. By the end of the class, you will be able to write programs that can decide what to do based on different conditions. Okay. Firstly, we will talk about decision making. Okay. Every day we will make decision, right? If it is raining, we take an umbrella. If we are hungry, we eat food. If we score 35 or more marks, we pass the exam. Notice something common in all these examples. There is always a condition. If the condition is true, one action happens. If the condition is false, another action happens. Python works in the same way. Decision making means executing different parts of a program depending on whether a condition is true or false. Okay, so in every example, there is a condition. Python checks that condition first, then it decides which code to execute. Okay, I will just write an example of that. Okay, just how the structure of that. This is the structure of the statements. Okay, if statement. This is the structure of the if statement. Okay, if is a keyword in Python. We use it whether we want Python to check a condition. Okay, the condition must always produce either true or false. Okay, so this colon tells Python that the code inside if block starts here. Never forget the colon. Okay, never forget the colon. Then I will start with an example coding question. Okay, just watch carefully on the laptop. Okay, now we are running the program. Yeah, eligible to vote because line 1 we put the age as a variable, age is equal to 20. We create a variable named age and store the value 20. Okay, then the second line Python checks that condition. Since the answer is true, Python enters if block. Okay, so I will line 3 I will explain. Because the condition was true, this line is executed. Okay, since the sometime the condition will be false, so Python skip the print statement. Okay, now I will go to if else statement. Okay, first I will say the theory part of if else statement so you guys will understand. Okay, sometimes we don't want Python to do nothing when the condition is false. Instead we want it to perform another action. For that we use else. Okay, I will just write the structure of if else. Okay, if condition. This is the structure of if else statement. Okay, just watch it carefully. Now I will go to an example question of if else statement. Okay, this will help you to understand more practically. Okay, now we are running the code. We can enter the marks as 18. Fail. We know that because we want 35 marks to pass the exam. So it will become fail. Okay, I will explain the line 1 first. Okay, the input asks the student to enter marks. The int converts the entered text to an integer. The value is stored in the variable marks. So here the variable is marks. Okay, and the second line, if marks is equal to greater than or equal to 35, and it's a condition they will check. So here the condition is failing, so we will get the answer as fail. Okay, now we will go to another statement, elif statement. Okay, I will explain the theoretical part first. Okay, sometimes there are more than two possibilities. For example, in a school, 90 and above grade A, 75 to 89 grade B, 50 to 74 grade C, below 50 fail. We cannot write this using if and else. So Python give us elif, which mean else if. So I will give you an example problem of else if, so you can understand the problem and get the practical part. Okay, so just watch the coding part carefully. Just watch it carefully. Okay, now we can run the program. We can enter our marks. Okay, suppose the marks is 82. You can guess the grade is B. Yeah, right. If the marks is 82, the grade is B. Okay, now I will explain. Once Python finds a true condition in an if or else chain, it execute that block and skip the remaining condition. Okay, okay, I will repeat that sentence. It is a very important part. Once Python finds a true condition in an if else chain, it execute that blocks and skip the remaining condition. Okay, just look through all the parts so you can understand very well. If you want photo, you can screenshot it. Okay, now we can go to the next thing, nest if. Okay, nested if. Okay, it is also an important thing in the Python. A nested if means one if statement inside another if statement. Okay, a nested if means one if statement inside another if statement. We use it when a second condition should be checked only after the first condition is true. Okay, now we can do an example question so you will get the answer. You can learn the entire nested if by this problem only, so you just watch it carefully. Okay, So everyone watch the coding carefully, okay? So you can understand it easily. Okay, now we are running the program. We can enter our age, okay? Okay, so we are getting the question, enter your age 14. Then we answered yes, yes, but it is not eligible because we type our age as 14, okay? Just remember it, do it again and again. You will be getting the right answer, okay? Now we can practice three more coding question, okay? Just practice three more high level question. So you will be easily getting all of these, okay? So we start with an if else question, okay? Just look what I'm typing. So you will be getting it, okay? So we have typed this and we can now enter the age, okay? Example, if our age is 20, we are eligible to vote because we are above the age of 18, okay? Now I will explain this code line by line, okay? I'll explain the first line, okay? Input, you can see input displays the message, enter your age. The entered value is text by default. The int, we can see int here. The int converts the text into an integer, okay? The value is stored in the variable age. Here the variable is age. Now I'll explain the second age. It's a condition. This is an if condition. Okay. Python check whether the age is greater than or equal to 18. Okay. So here the condition is true. Python enters if block. Because the condition is true, Python will enter the if block. Okay. It's a main important line. If the condition is true, Python enters if block. Next line, we just printed this print eligible to vote. This line is inside if block, okay? This line is inside the if block because the condition is true. Python prints, okay? Okay, else means if the above condition is false, executes this block instead. And the next line, print not eligible to vote. We can see print not eligible to vote. So the Python skip if block and prints, okay? So here we are eligible to vote because our age is 20. Okay. Now we can move on to the next question. Okay. Just watch the coding part. Okay, just watch the coding part so you will understand it. Number is larger, then we will, okay, else block print second number is larger. So now we will run the program. First number as, we can put first number as 10. Okay, as an example we can put first number as 10 and the second number as 20. Okay, so second number is largest because 20 is greater than 10. That's it. So now I will explain line by line. Okay, in the first line, ask the user to enter the first number. And second line, suppose the user enters. Third line, the Python is checking the condition. Fourth line, the line is skipped because the condition is false. And the fifth line, if condition failed, Python execute else block. And the sixth line, we know second number is larger because it's print here. Second number is larger because 20 is greater than 10. Okay, now we can move to the next question. Student grade if else question. Okay, it's an if else if elif sorry it's an if elif else question. Okay, the student grade question is about if elif else question, so we can type it. Marks is greater than 90, it will print grade A. Okay, it will print grade B. Okay, okay, here we made a small mistake, so we are correcting it. Okay, I will print grade C. Okay, now else else print fail, just forgot quotation. Okay, so we put the quotation and we are now running the Yeah, we can now enter our marks. Suppose if our marks are 82, we will get grade B. Okay. Now I will explain line by line. Okay. So now I will explain the code line by line. The first line asks the user to enter their marks. In second line, there is a condition. So Python moves to the next condition. The third line skipped because the first condition is false. And the fourth line, Python again checks since the condition is true, Python execute this block. So we get the grade as B. Okay. So that's it. Okay. So let's conclude today's session by revising the important concept we learned. Today we studied decision making in Python. Decision making allows a program to choose different actions based on whether a condition is true or false. This makes the program smarter and capable of responding differently to different input. Okay. Then we learned about if statement which execute a block of code only when the specified condition is true. Next, we studied the if-else statement which allows Python to choose between two blocks of code if the condition is true and if the block is executed, otherwise the else block is executed. Then we learned the elif statement. The elif statement is used when there are multiple conditions to check. Python evaluates conditions one by one from top to bottom and execute the first condition that is true. If none of the conditions are true, the else block is executed. Okay, again repeat that sentence. If none of the conditions are true, the else block is executed. We also discussed nested if statement, whether one if statement is placed inside another if statement. Nested if is useful when a second condition need to be checked only after the first condition is satisfied. We understood that decision making statements work with comparison operators and logical operators. Do you remember the logical operators? And, or, and not are the logical operators to form conditions. Finally, we implemented this concept using practical programs such as we studied. You remember that three practical programs: voting, eligibility checker, largest of two numbers, student grade calculator. These examples helped us understand how decision making is used in real life programming. I just give you some main points to remember. That will be helpful for you to remember all these. Okay. Decision making allows Python to make choices. And just look at the coding. If is used for if is used for a single condition. Okay. Again repeat, if is used for a single condition and if else is used to choose between two alternatives. Again, if else is used to choose between two alternatives. Repeat, if else is choose between two alternatives. Then elif is used to check multiple conditions. Once more, everyone repeat. Elif is used to check multiple conditions. Then nested if is used to check one condition inside another. Again repeat. Again once more, everyone repeat. Nested if is used to check one condition inside another. Conditions always evaluate to true or false. That also conditions always evaluate to true or false. So everyone remember these five key points that will be useful for your if else these loop statement. Okay. So in the next class we will learn about loops. I mean there are two loops, for loop and while loop. Loop help us to execute the same block of code repeatedly without writing it again and again, making our programs shorter, faster, and efficient. So thank you for everyone. Practice today programs and revise this theory. See you in the next class. Thank you.